Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to speak in this debate, and I'd like to begin by thanking Richard Leonard for securing this debate. And I think it's fantastic that we do have two debates this week in which we have the opportunity to express our feelings and views in the NHS, all of which are, notwithstanding the challenges that the health service faces, are universally positive. Just to begin, I want to pay tribute to Shona Robson, Maureen Watt and Aileen Campbell, who are leaving the health portfolio today. I had the brief privilege of being Parliamentary Liaison Officer to the Cabinet Secretary of Health at the beginning of this session and saw firsthand the dedication, commitment and passion that all three of those individuals brought to their respective portfolios. And I wish them well, and I congratulate Aileen Campbell on her elevation to Cabinet and wish her well in her new portfolio. I also want to join with colleagues from across the Chamber in thanking our dedicated NHS staff. I come from an NHS house. Both my parents worked in the health service for over 30 years. My mother started off as a theatre nurse, as a district nurse, before retraining as a mental health nurse and working for over 20 years at Gartnavel Royal, and what was a very difficult and demanding job, and at a period when there was significant change in public attitudes towards mental health and how we as a country sought to treat and support people with mental health conditions. Similarly, my father worked on a different side of the NHS, a side that's often overlooked, and that was in estates. My father started off as an electrician within the health service, and he worked his way up, and either when there was far more social mobility perhaps, to become an electrical engineer, and before retiring as an estates manager in the health service. And that gave me a perspective, and I want to pay tribute to all of those people who work in the health service who perhaps we don't necessarily talk about every day. I know growing up from my father, family events being cancelled when he was on call because a security system had went off, or a boiler had failed, or there was a door that wouldn't open, things that we perhaps maybe don't discuss enough, the tremendous work that those working in estates and our health service do. And it's rather fitting to mention my father. My dad was born in 1951. That was the year that, and I'll use these words, that great Labour government of Attlee demitted office. And what's significant is that in 1951, the average life expectancy for a woman in the UK was 72 years old, and for a man was 66. Last year, that stood at 86.2 years for a woman and 83.4 years for a man. There has been a transformation in the demands that our health service now face. We are, to some extent, a victim of our own success. Infectious diseases are massively reduced, notwithstanding the challenges we still face in areas, for example, such as hepatitis C. But the real challenges we face, of course, are the non-communicable diseases, the challenges of an ageing population. And I think there's been some very important contributions in this debate, I think particularly from Patrick Harvey, highlighting our need to think more broadly about the social determinants of ill health. And while we rightly focus on the services that people use, be it accident and emergency or CAMS, we also have to not allow ourselves to forget the bigger picture of the social determinants of ill health. And simply, we cannot just think in a silo about health services, but we always have to be thinking about how housing, how education and how a range and how social security can all be used collectively, holistically, to make sure that we have a healthier population. And I welcome the measures that this government is taking, both broadly in areas such as the National Clinical Strategy and the 2020 vision, setting out that ambition to have acute and primary services to deliver, but also in our vision, in the government's vision of achieving a fairer and more equal society through having a social security system that's based on fairness, dignity and respect, and also taking the measures that are necessary, be that minimum unit pricing in alcohol or the obesity strategy shortly to be launched. So there is much work still to be done, but I just want to close where I began by thanking everyone who works in our National Health Service for the outstanding work we do. They really are the best examples of people in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much.